No, I think that's important, but honestly, Cenk, like file your nails or something because this was not good. This was not a good look during that conference.
I want to ask you guys something. I want to ask you guys something. Do you believe that trans Americans should have the same constitutional rights as all Americans to employment, health care, and housing? Constitutional rights.
Okay, Cenk, I'm a stand-up comic, so I listen to crowds regularly. I know when they are booing, groaning, or in this case, there is a whistle of disapproval, and I know when they are cheering. Now, let's play it again. They're not on board with trans people having the same constitutional rights.
I want to ask you guys something. I want to ask you guys something. Do you believe that trans Americans should have the same constitutional rights as all Americans to employment, health care, and housing?
In this clip, we're diving into a cringe-worthy moment from Cenk Uygur at a recent conference where he tried to take a swing in front of a conservative crowd, and let's just say it did not land well. Francesca highlights exactly how off the mark Cenk was, and trust me, you do not want to miss how awkward this whole exchange gets. Let's break it down.
One of the biggest issues for me that is not, and I know when they are cheering. Now, let's play it again. They're not on board with trans people having the same constitutional rights.
Constitutional rights.
Do you want me to translate?
You got like
Well,
maybe like a sixth of the audience. There's a couple people clapping very, very, no? Okay.
So,
and then
Franny, let's break it down.
this is the best. Wait, this is the best part. You got to keep watching because it's the best that like not only you get hung out to dry on this like can we all agree shtick that you're on, and they don't meet you,
God,
and then
it's
Charlie
so-
meets you with this.
Constitutional right to housing.
Wait, I
It's
love
late.
it.
Well, there is no constitutional right to housing.
So then he goes like, wait a minute, not only don't I not agree with you on the trans people,
Franny.
because he never answered it. He's like, actually, your right to housing anyway. And I know that's not even what the Constitution says. It's just equal protection around housing, right? It doesn't say you have a right to housing. I wish it did. But like, it's just amazing to me. Like, do you see? And you look at him and there's a moment you're just kind of like, there's just this moment and it's just like, what are we doing, Jake? Like, what's
So,
going
Franny,
on
you-
here?
See, this is a great example. You're being so unbelievably unfair about that interaction.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I did that, Franny, and I knew I was taking a big risk,
You were.
is because I wanted to try to get some of them because I've done it on other right-wing shows and it worked really well. It didn't work really well this time. That's why it was a risk. But I challenged them on how trans people are like every American and they should have constitutional rights.
Well, let's watch a little bit. Let's watch
hold
whether
on,
you did it.
hold
Let's
on, hold
let's
on,
watch
let me
whether you
finish.
did it. Did you do it or not?
Let me finish, Franny.
Did you
This
do
is
it or
super
not?
important, and you're totally smearing me on a thing that is crazy. I
I'm
had the
playing you the
courage-
clip.
I had
I'm not
the courage
smearing you. I'm
to
literally
challenge
playing the
them.
clip. Jink, I'm playing the clip.
No, Fred, will you let me talk? I said I had the courage to challenge them on constitutional rights for trans people. You asked me to have the courage to challenge them. I did, and now you're attacking me for it.
No,
How
I'm
do
not.
you
I'm
do
not
that?
attacking. I'm not attacking you for it. I'm saying you have characterized this.
Look at this. They didn't agree
No,
with
no,
you.
no. I'm
I
saying you're.
tried to get them to agree to constitutional rights. That's exactly what we should do. We should say trans people are just like every American citizens, and they should have constitutional rights. I go and have the courage to challenge that audience to that, and then you want to make fun of it? Like
I'm not.
I
I'm not. I'm
100%
saying.
agree with you. What do you want? Do you want me to challenge them, or do you not want me to challenge them? Make up your mind.
It was a big swing. You agreed that it was a little bit of a miss, and I
And
think.
by the way, you're not
and hang on.
exactly right about that either. So I was in the room. 2/3 of them cheered. 1/3 of them clearly did not, and groaned and
the people,
cheered.
the people who were
Charlie,
cheering
it
were not
was-
mic'd properly. I understand. I look. It was a swing. It's good you asked, but I didn't think that you really had like a save for that because I think you were like you actually gave them credit for the
I
few
didn't.
people that agreed. And meanwhile, Cenk, you have so much disdain for our side. If I say, hey, I believe trans people should play in sports, you have so much disdain. You get so mad. But here you are, and here is what you say.
Constitutional right to housing.
Okay, so I hear you. What I got out of that, guys,
I'm just trying to be the interpreter.
Yeah. No, there was a lot of applause and there was some consternation, right? I'll take it. It's a start. It's a start. So guys, when we can even disagree about what's constitutional, Second Amendment, housing, etc. But just let's treat everyone as Americans. And I say that to the right and I say it to the left.
For sure.
Okay, so you know
When's the last time they heard that message? Never.
thank
You're
you for
welcome.
you don't know. I guess thank you, but you have so much grace for people who really were groaning and not on board with what you
When
said.
did I say I have grace for that?
I mean, no, I mean, you said it right there. You said, "Hey, I'll take it," and it was like, "This is what we got to do."
Two-thirds of the
You-
room
you-
said, "Yay, trans constitutional rights." When's the last time 2/3 of
Constitutional rights? Really? I get it. You are trying to appeal to the masses, but framing this like it's some revolutionary concept is not the way to go. Of course, trans Americans, like all Americans, should have equal rights, but it's the way you're selling this. Asking a question like that to a crowd that clearly is not on board is just asking for a bomb to go off. And here's the thing, it kind of did. You threw the question out there expecting cheers, but instead you got crickets and boos. This is not a winning strategy. Sometimes the audience does not need a grand moral lecture. They need a more measured conversation. You might have just been trying to make a bold point, but it backfired spectacularly. You're asking a tough question, but maybe you should have known your crowd a little better before you dropped that bomb or taken such a huge risk.
Why do
cheer
you
for
not?
constitutional rights for
Why do you
trans
not extend the same grace to so-called radical
Okay,
leftists?
I'm really glad we're back to this, Franny, because this is important. And we mentioned in the beginning, and I wanted to come back to it.
Mhm.
So, having grace for the left, I run the network, and everybody gets to have their own opinion. Everybody gets to fight me. Everybody gets to state their own opinion without any editorial control. First of all,
But you do go ballistic on them like you went ballistic on me earlier.
Yeah,
You do
yeah.
get, and you
Yes,
very,
but-
and you
but
always
Franny-
say, "You're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong."
Yeah,
You want me to
but
do
I
that?
get
I can
animated,
do it
that's
too.
right.
You're wrong. You're an idiot. You're
But
wrong.
Franny-
We can do it.
but
We know
Franny-
what you do when you disagree. It's
But
not the
Franny,
same. It's
do
not.
I-
I'll take
But
it.
hold on.
I'll-
So we fight, right? When we disagree, I say you're wrong, you say I'm wrong.
Very
But
rarely.
is there any consequences afterwards? Do I then threaten your job? Do I take people off the
I mean,
air?
Cenk thought he could waltz into a MAGA crowd and drop some bold statements, but instead he got a chilly reception. It is a perfect example of a high-risk, high-reward move that completely backfired. If you're going to challenge an audience like that or pose such bold questions, you better have your ducks in a row, especially when you're dealing with people who do not share your views. Cenk learned the hard way that not all crowds are created equal, and sometimes the strategy needs to match the audience. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more bold and unapologetic content.